Hey, beautiful mamas. Welcome back to part 2 of our 2025 Goal Planning series. In today's video, we're going to be using the workbook and planning our roadmap to making 2025 our best year yet. If you haven't already, check the link below and let's print off that workbook and get started. Now, I went to Office Depot, Office Max, whatever it's called, and actually had them print and bind my workbook. It was only like $22, and I actually chose the clear cover with a black backing because I'm going to be using it. It's going to be sitting on my desk almost daily, so I wanted to make sure I protected the sheets. So let's get straight into it. We're going to be using my 5 steps to plan 2025, starting with step 1, creating a life vision. In this step, we're going to be taking a moment and just dreaming about what we think our ideal life would be like. And that's going to really help us understand what really matters to us. In the workbook, I have a prompt to get you really creating that life vision, and then underneath is the open space below to really write it out in detail. I'm going to use this time and I'm going to write out mine, and then I'm going to fast forward a little bit and share with you some of my life vision. My life vision is to make memories with my family. I want to be able to travel the world, seeing and experiencing things. And to me, when I go to a theme park, zoo, aquarium, stuff like that, I want that VIP treatment, y'all. I'm talking about those backstage passes, the custom packages. I want the skip in the front of the line at every theme park, stuff like that. Okay. So I want to make memories with my family doing things like that. I only work 4 hours a day, and that's only if I want to, okay? My life vision is to have a team and have systems within my business that just work for me, okay? So I don't have to do everything. And I'm a successful 6-figure business owner, and I give back to the community by teaching them how to be successful and wealthy. We are debt free. Let me go ahead and say that again. We are debt free and have financial freedom. We have both active and passive income streams and believe in fire. I don't want to wait until I'm 65 to retire, y'all. So to me, that is a life vision. I want to teach my kids about money and entrepreneurship because I want to create generational wealth. That to me is success. That is my life vision. And don't forget, it's not about perfection, okay? This is your vision. So I share with you some of mine, and now I want you to take the time and think about what is your vision. Take that moment and really write it out, or even turn the page and I have a box where you can actually sketch out what you're dreaming about. What do you see when you close your eyes and say like, okay, this is my idea of success and this is my ideal life. Now we know what our end goal is. We have that life vision, that ideal life that we want. Now it's time to move on to step 2, which is reflection. And that's going to help us understand where we are. We're going to be thinking about what went well, what didn't, and what we want to improve on for 2025. So up here at the top of the reflection worksheet, we have our instructions, and then there are 2 pages of prompts to help guide you when it comes to reflecting on your 2024. It's going to help you think about what happened, and I want you really to take the time to do this. Sometimes it's good to just pull out your phone and scroll through the photos, and that's going to help jot your memory when it comes to remembering exactly what you did for 2024. I also have this 2024 planning sheet that I keep in my daily work binder. And on this sheet, it's just really me typing up what my goals were and then the checklist, if you would say, on how to get it done for the year. So I'm going to use that to really answer some of these prompts. So let's take a couple minutes and answer each prompt. For the sake of this video, I'm only going to do the prompts on the first page, and I'm going to share my answers with you. Okay, so going over my answers for page 1. What were my highlights for 2024? For me, the first thing was starting my YouTube channel in February. That was a huge accomplishment for me because I was nervous, y'all. But I got it done. The second thing I have is relaunching my VA business to better suit the stage of my life that I'm in, because I had a lot going on, and looking for clients and working one-on-one with them was just not working with my very active toddler. So it was becoming too tedious, too hard, and I needed to switch things up. So I actually relaunched by changing up my services a little bit better, so that what I was offering didn't require me to be in so many meetings and having her, trying to keep her quiet for the whole time. So I am so proud of, being flexible in doing that. The next thing, I actually ran my first 10K. And for me, 2024 was great in that I made a bunch of memories. This was the year that I was really intentional about hanging out with my friends and building relationships with the people that were around me. And honestly, some of them are more than friends. They become family now. And so to me, these were my biggest highlights for 2024. And again, I did use my phone to help remind me of what I did, y'all. Now the challenges I face. I actually had a hard time staying consistent in my channel. In the beginning, it was great. I was motivated. You know how it is when you first start something. You're motivated, you're happy, and then reality sets in and things just start falling off because you're either not seeing the results that you wanted, or it's just not going how you thought it would go. So I did the same thing. I kind of fell off and I took a break. I took a break from social media and from YouTube, and I just focused on my health. However, I just didn't stop. I was actually using that time to learn more about YouTube, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts. I read a couple YouTube books like Daryl Reeves' The YouTube Formula, and it really helped me understand the back end of YouTube and the algorithm. So I was learning while I was on that break. Now, the habits that work well for me in 2024, I actually do 2 hour blocks when it comes to my schedule. And I use these blocks to focus on different areas of my life, whether that's 10 to 12, I'm working on cleaning the house, 12 to 2, YouTube stuff, or, 2 to 4, business stuff, whatever. That really helps me stay flexible and stay on task when it comes to getting things done. So I will definitely be using that into 2025. Moving on to step 3, plan your goals, the meat and potatoes to all of this. So we're going to brainstorm some goals, and then we're going to actually prioritize and narrow down which ones we will actually focus on for 2025. The next page of the workbook, we're going to use this to brain dump different goals and things that we think we want to accomplish for the new year. And then after that, we're going to star or highlight it, and those will become our main or focus goals for 2025. And it's only going to be no more than 5. So 1 to 5 goals to really focus on for 2025. The next page, we're going to rewrite those goals so that they are crystal clear. First things first, let's brain dump. Now, I like to split my goals into categories. I have my business category, home, personal, and finances category. And from there, I will brain dump all my goals into these categories. There are other categories you can think of or do, like career, education, fitness, health. However you decide, you can break it down like I did, or you can just brain dump them all in one thing. Whatever works, just use 5 to 10 minutes and just brainstorm. I've brained up everything I think I want to get done, and y'all look at this. You already know just from looking at it that it is seriously too much, and there is just no way I'm going to get this all done. So now is the time to go through each one and prioritize which one you're actually going to do. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to highlight and start the main goal for each category and make those as my goals for 2025. So for me, it's building brand awareness, simplifying organizing my home because I'm actually getting ready for a new baby next year. And that's actually going to lead me to a tip. Whenever it comes to picking your goals or what you want to do and focus on, you need to consider the season of life that you're in and decide from there, okay, I can do this. This is a season of life that I'm in. You also want to make sure that goal is going to move you a step closer to that vision that we started off with step one. So those are my two tips. Look, personally, my season that I'm in is currently pregnant, okay? So for me, I know that in 2025, I'm going to be focusing on my postpartum and just adjusting to three kids and trying to keep the household going. I want to really focus on self-care when it comes to my personal goal. I want to create routines that's really going to help me stay afloat. Now, I know I said that I wanted to read a finance book a month, but then I thought about it and I was like, Rhonda girl, that's not gonna work. You know how you are, you're a slow reader. So I needed to be a little bit more realistic and I put down to do one finance book a quarter. For me, that is good. Now, if I have more time, I can add another book or whatnot, but doing one finance book a quarter and really learning the strategies in them in order to build my money mindset and my habits, that's going to be good for me. So that's my goal for my finances. Moving to the second page. After we have highlighted or starred our main goals, we're actually going to rewrite them because we want them to stand out and we want them to be crystal clear and just know exactly what we're going to be focusing on. So take a moment and write those goals out. I actually end up doing 5 goals, and that's because I have 2 businesses I want to really build up next year. I have my VA business, which my goal was building brand awareness and establishing it as a passive income. And the reason I say passive income is because I know that for next year, being in that postpartum season of my life, I will be learning about a brand new me, a brand new body, new baby, new routines, and just adjusting. So that's actually what moves me to the next goal as well, my personal goal. I'm going to be learning how to take care of myself. And when I say take care of myself, I mean mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So, my second goal, my personal goal is to take care of myself by learning and establishing a self-care routine and allowing my body to heal after baby. I'm going to go ahead and write out the rest of these goals so we can move on to the next part. I'm done writing them all out and I'm going to break them down for you. So I already shared my VA business goal and my personal goal. Now, my financial goal is just to strengthen my money mindset by improving my financial literacy and money habits. My home goal is to simplify and organize my home by decluttering spaces and creating a system and routine to keep the clutter away. Because again, we're adding a new member to the family, and I don't want to declutter my house and not have anything in place that's going to keep that chaos away. So that's going to be my home goal. And my last goal is a business goal. And because, like I said, I have 2 businesses. So this last one is to get monetized on YouTube and establish it as a stream of income. Because for me, I know that 2025 is a year of growth. That's my theme word. I'm growing my family, my finances. 2025 is my year of growth. Okay, so we have our goals and now we need to create our action plan. In the workbook, there are 2 pages. One page, you're going to brainstorm what you need to do. There's a space to draw out a flow chart or a process map if you want to do that. And then there's lines to actually write it out. So you may need to do some research to get this part done, and that is completely okay. For me, I use ChatGPT, okay? I used it to help me just get started and make sense of the things that are going on in my head. For the most part, I know the things that I need to get done, but writing it out so it makes sense and flows is where I use ChatGPT to really help me. Now, I'm going to be honest, it came up with a whole bunch of stuff, and I really had to go through it and narrow it down because I was looking at it like, wow, there is no way I'm going to do all that. But I know that next year I want to take 10 weeks of maternity leave and just ease back into things. So, with ChatGPT's results, I really had to go through it and be like, okay, this is important, this can wait, and really be realistic of what I can do, because ChatGPT gives you suggestions, okay? They're just suggestions. It's a starting point. So if that's something you want to use, by all means, use it. Do a little research, Google a couple things, and really come up with what milestones and action steps you need to take to accomplish your main goal. Now, after you have that, we're going to go back to this first page, and you see these two little boxes over here on the side. I do not want you to skip this. They are super important. Knowing why a goal is important to you and how it's going to make you feel. Make sure you fill this out, because let's be real, you're not going to be all gung ho and super motivated and happy all the time. And you're going to have sometimes some hard times, and you need to be reminded of why you started this journey. So make sure you fill out this box, and then this second box right here, same thing goes. What possible obstacles could you face and how you're going to overcome them? I want you to take a moment and think about some challenges you may face and have an idea of what you're going to do when you face them. So don't forget to fill out these two important boxes right here. My first goal was the VA business. I want to focus on building brand awareness and just establishing it as a passive income stream. And I used the process map to brainstorm how I want to get my product out there and my name out there, right? So I'm thinking of selling my items on Etsy. I have experience with Etsy. I actually tried it with a print on demand, and I sold a couple things, but I found that with the coaching method that I was using and the coach I had, I was catering more to how she did her stuff, and my heart wasn't in it. But I did get that experience, the knowledge, and I'm going to use it for where my heart actually is, which is helping solopreneurs create systems to manage their business using tech. So that's where my heart is, and that's what I'm going to use that experience of Etsy and knowledge for. But anywho, let's fast forward through drawing out this process map and how I want my business to get there and move on to the next step. Moving on to the next part. Now, for my thought process, I actually like to split it up quarterly. So I know in Q1, I need to have my store and the product all ready to go and have pre recorded content, because I also know that in Q2, I'm going to be all about maternity leave and I need to maintain visibility during that time. Now, quarter three, I wrote that in my process that maybe I was thinking about a blog, but I am not 100% sure that's what I'm ready for. So I'm gonna, put a big question mark there. I'm gonna have it down just so I can remember. But for right now, I'm just putting down to expand my reach in Q3. And then I'm going to refine and scale things in Q4. And you know what? That's okay, because goals, they adapt. As you learn, as you grow, they're going to change. And I'm also going to do a mid-year review to reevaluate things. So that's when I'll be actually, okay, what's working? Where have I progressed? I'm behind. Am I, ahead? What do I need to change? And that's when I'll see, okay, maybe a blog is a thing I want to add. And to be honest, that is actually the reason why I got this workbook bound and protected, because I knew that it needed to survive a year of being opened and rewrote in and just edited in. So goals are adaptable. Now let's flip the page and write down the milestones for the VA business. And then I'm actually going to go and fill out those side boxes. I know they're super important. I want you to fill them out. I'm just not going to do that on camera because they're going to be personal to me. And that's how they should be. They should be personal to you so that when you're having those hard and challenging times, you can refer back to them. So make sure you do fill it out. I'm just not going to do it on camera. So let's fast forward and let's get these milestones written out. So my milestones / action steps for creating the brand awareness that I need for my VA business. First, I need to finalize and launch the digital product. Then I need to set up and launch my newsletter because I want to stay on the mind of my audience. Same thing goes for my social media. I need to make sure I'm posting to build that audience and offering them the option to join my newsletter. I need to update my website to highlight my freebie and digital product. And then lastly, on the bottom here, I have to launch that blog and promote it on my email list, social media, and website, because I don't want to forget that if I am doing good or when I do my mid-year reevaluation, to look into, okay, do I have time to launch this blog, or is this going to be a 2026 thing? In this video, I'm going to fast forward all my brainstorming, but I'm going to let you get a little glimpse of it just so you can see an idea of how I go through the process. But I really want to just share with my action steps that I came up with so that we can move on to step 5. So I showed you how I go from brainstorming to coming up with my milestones and action steps for my goal. And I'm going to do this process for each one of the goals that I came up with for 2025. And honestly, I did use a little bit of ChatGPT to help me fill in gaps. And you can do that, or you can Google or research. Just remember, nothing is finalized. You don't have to know it all, have all the answers, know all the what ifs and all that stuff. Don't let that discourage you. Plan out how you're going to go from point A to point B to accomplish your goals. And remember, you're going to review these goals and update them as you're learning and growing. So do the research that you need to do to fill in the gaps and help you brainstorm what needs to be done, and then write out those milestones. So for goal 2, I want to take care of myself by learning and establishing a self-care routine and allowing my body to heal after a baby. And my milestones were: 1, I need to create a maternity leave plan and just prepping for the postpartum care that I need. 2, I'm going to create a skincare routine. So I'm going to start with that first, and then I'm going to move to adding on a nail routine, adding on a haircut routine, because I want to do habit stacking. I want to start off with what I already do and just add one habit at a time until I get to the self-care routine I want. The next action step is choose a devotion and prayer time. I'm actually starting that already. I just want to build on it. I need to add more because I want to develop my spiritual relationship with God. And then the last one, learn and practice gratitude. Now, this is something I am honestly not good at. So I am purchasing a gratitude journal with some prompts just to help me learn how to do it, and just making sure I add it into my nighttime routine. For my finance goal, I want to strengthen my money mindset by improving my financial literacy and money habits. And the action steps I chose were to choose a finance book to read each quarter. Now, I wrote down each month, but I needed to be realistic. And I was like, okay, we're going to start with each quarter. And if I have extra time, then, then, we may add a second book into that quarter. But choose a finance book to read each quarter. Then learn budgeting and expense tracking. And I want to create that into a habit. My next action step is cutting back on expenses. Once I've created the habit of looking at my finances more regularly and seeing what my spending habits are, I can learn where I need to cut back on or where I can cut back on. The next step, learn and create a savings plan and implement it. And then lastly, learn and create a debt reduction plan and implement it. Those are my action steps for my finance goal. For my home goal, I chose to simplify and organize my home by decluttering spaces and creating a system or routine to keep the clutter away. And my first action item is to update my home binder. Now, my home binder is where I have the cleaning routines, meal planning, and a monthly reset. And I want to dive a little bit into this monthly reset because I have a new monthly reset planner. And this also kind of goes into my YouTube goal that I'm going to share with you a little bit later. But my new monthly reset planner, it is to help with meal planning and just planning family activities and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing a monthly reset and posting that on the first day of each month. So for those who are interested, it's going to be on the first day of each month. I'm going to be doing a monthly reset because I feel like that just makes more sense for me. Instead of waiting till whatever the first Saturday is, we're going to do it on the first day of the month because we want to set ourselves up for success. It's also going to help when it comes to staying accountable. So if you want an accountability partner, I am definitely your girl, okay? Join me on the first day of every month with a monthly reset because we're actually going to be going over not just meal planning and cleaning routines, but we're actually going to be going over the steps that we need to take for the month to finish these 2025 goals. So having somebody to hold you accountable help your chances of being successful even more. With this monthly reset, we're going to be organizing our lives. Okay. We're going to get it. We're going to get ourselves together. So if you're interested, write in the comments accountability. My next action item is decluttering plans for baby prep. My next action item is updating the home project list. So right now, me and hubby use this little book. He calls it the home edit book. And we use it to write down projects that we want to get done in the house. I've been having him put in measurements so I can get the bins and the storage containers to contain this stuff. But this is our little home audit book that has been helping us organize both our thoughts when it comes to what we need to get done in our home. Let's say, for instance, this mudroom. Right here, there's a list of the things that we decided need to be taken care of when it comes to the mudroom and the areas and hot spots in it or that are just making us So you're probably going to see me whip out this book when I do my declutter challenge next year because I honestly can't keep things in my head. Pregnancy brain is real. So I've been writing everything down, but we really love this book. It's compact, it fits in my purse, and it also fits in his pocket. He knows exactly where it is so that he can always look at his honey-do list. And last but not least, the winter challenge, which is going to be an end of the year declutter. Okay, my fifth and final goal. Get monetized on YouTube and establish as a stream of income. For me, YouTube is a business. In fact, when I started YouTube, it was after I had stopped being a professional organizer and I had stopped going to clients' homes. And it was because me and my husband had decided that it was super important that we were involved for the first 5 years of our children's lives. Okay. We don't really do daycare. We want to make sure that we establish what we want to establish in them before they start school. So I decided to let go of professional organizing, but I still had that passion for helping people organize. At the same time, I went through this transition of going from one kid that was school age to going back down to having a second kid who was a baby and reteaching me everything. And I had a VA business. So I had a hard time transitioning from one to two children, trying to juggle everything. And the house really just took a beating for it. So I decided to start the YouTube channel as a way to help motivate other people that they want that Pinterest worthy house, or they want to take care of the declutter in their house. They can do it one step at a time and do it with me. It's to motivate you to also declutter your home with me, because that's what I was doing. I was trying to get back on track. I was using my experience as a professional organizer, and pretty much I was my own client, okay? So I started the YouTube channel for that, but now I'm ready to continue building it and moving on to the next step. So the next step for me is to get monetized. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, thank you, thank you to those who have subscribed already. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't, please subscribe and share this channel. I'm on the road to monetizing this YouTube channel so I can help even more people. But let's move along. I need to create an editorial calendar because although I will be taking maternity leave next year, I still want to continue posting. And so that means I need to get ahead. I need to create the editorial calendar and pre-recording content. And I also need to look at it and update it mid-year and at the end of the year. Next action step is finalize a planner design. So I have a planner launching by the end of 2025, and that's going to be a huge focus for me. It's going to be a planner that helps you organize your home, well, organize your life really, because as moms, we have to balance home, life, business, whether it's work from home or really planning on starting a side hustle or a part-time and increasing your streams of income. So that's what that planner is going to be for, because the trend going on now is the 5 to 9, okay, to help you build wealth. So that planner is going to help you when it comes to your time management of your home, your life, and building that 5 to 9 stream of income. So I'm going to finalize that planner design and launch that and promote it by the end of 2025. There's also some templates that I want to add to my Etsy. So I have that as an action step. Another one is learn about sponsorships and affiliates and continue improving my content and editing skills. Now, there are a couple of courses that I'm thinking into looking and investing into, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the direction I want to go, because again, it is an investment. So I'll be reevaluating that when I do that mid-year goal. And if not, we'll reevaluate it again at the end of the year and see where we are, because that's what goals are also about. Remember, you have to adapt. It's not about perfection. Okay, now that we have all the action steps and our action plan for each goal, we need to actually map it out. Step number 5, which is like the sauce. We have our meat and potatoes, where we have we're creating that action plan. But now we need to put a little sauce in there and put it all together, right? So we're going to move on to step 5. This 2025 roadmap portion of the workbook includes a reference calendar, a quarterly planner, undated yearly planner, monthly planner, and a habit tracker. Because some of the goals you need to achieve may have habits involved, like when I said I want to do a self-care routine. So let's take a look at that. First things first. Okay. I know y'all probably looking at the top of this quarterly planner and like, did she just spell quarterly I know I called it. It is not on your workbook. It is on mine because I printed mine off before so I can, check these things, right? But because it's bothering me so much, let me go ahead and put this R on top so it can stop glaring at me. All right. Now I feel better and we can move on to the roadmap portion. So we're going to use this quarterly sheet. We're going to write down our main goals to keep them fresh in our mind and then map them out quarterly. And then we're going to use that to map out our year on this undated yearly planner. And that's going to help us really see, okay, for each month, what do I need to do? Because we're going to use that yearly planner to actually plan out using this undated monthly planner the important tasks that we need to get done. And it's going to help because it's going to allow you to space out your tasks so that it's realistic, okay? You're going to be able to map it out so that you can actually keep track and know, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be in this month. And if it's not going to go that way, I told you, goals are flexible. So we have to adjust and update it. But anywho, I printed off 12 months of the monthly sheets, and then I have this habit tracker back here for each month because for me, I'm trying to develop an expense tracking habit, a reading habit, and a self-care habit. For you, it may be a no spending or exercising 3 times a week. So you're going to want to highlight that, circle it, whatever you want to do, but keeping track of the progress so you know I'm on track or I need to get better. So let's go back to this quarterly sheet. I actually started brainstorming my quarterlies when I did my action plan. So this part was really easy for me. I did move around some things because when you write it out, you're going to see, well, what made me think I was going to be able to do all that? Okay. So when I first wrote it down, I saw that some of my quarters just had way too much. And so I did have to move things around. So spend 5 minutes or so and write down what your quarterly plan is going to be. And I'm actually going to fast forward to save time and just explain to you my quarterly. So on the top here, I wrote down the simplified version of my goals, and then I broke it down. So quarter 1, I had the editorial calendar, setting up that digital project, pre-recording content, prepping for the baby, the planner design, and just establishing routines, updating my binders. And of course, I had the finance book for each one of the quarters. Quarter 2 for me is all about maternity leave. I do want to try to ease back into work at the end of May, beginning of June, depending on how my body feels. But I am focusing on postpartum care and just adjusting my routines so that I can still take care of myself. I still want to do a finance book for that, maybe even 2, depending on how baby lets me, and then a mid-year review of where I am when it comes to my goals. Quarter 3 is about the launch plan for the planner. I want to build awareness when it comes to that. I also want to refresh and renew my spaces because things may be a little chaotic. So I do need to do that. Update any self-care routines. I also want to start rebuilding my core and strengthening that, starting real slow. So rebuilding my core in quarter 3, maybe launching that blog. It's still up in the air. And then, of course, the finance book. Quarter 4 is the planner launch. So that's a huge thing for me. For the YouTube, it's going to be that winter declutter challenge. I'm also going to be updating any routines, home binders, and then I'm still going to be doing that core strengthening, but I want to add walks and jogs in there too. Reading that finance and doing a end of the year review and planning for my 2026. So those are my quarterly worksheet, and then I'm going to use that to fill in the yearly worksheet. Once you have that quarterly planner, you have everything you need to fill out your yearly plan. This yearly plan is going to be fluid, okay? It's going to be flexible because you're going to update it at least twice next year, maybe even quarterly, okay? Because life is going to change. Life is going to life. I say that all the time. All right, life is going to life, and we have to adapt. So you're going to fill it out for right now based off everything that we have gone over. And then you're going to update it. You're not going to just sit it somewhere to collect dust. You're going to constantly be in this workbook, because even though plans change, we still need to plan because we want to be successful, correct? We want 2025 to be our best year yet. So take the time to fill in that yearly planner so you know exactly, okay, this month I need to do this and this and this. I'm gonna fast forward again, trying to save you some time and just go over really quickly my yearly plan. For January, I'm going to choose that finance book for quarter 1, do my editorial calendar, declutter 1 room a week, and launch that digital product. For February, I'm pre-recording content. I need to launch that newsletter and update my website. March 3, same thing. I'm pre-recording content. I got to get ready for maternity leave for quarter 2. So I'm pre-recording content. I'm scheduling those posts. I am planning and prepping for maternity leave. In April, the beginning of a quarter 2, it's all about that maternity leave. So I pick my finance book and I'm going to simplify my self-care routines and then my house routines so that everything is still maintaining, but I'm focusing on maternity leave. Same thing for May. Maternity leave, postpartum care. I'm going to update my editorial calendar, but I'm hiring cleaners to help me keep the house up. June is the mid-year review. And again, postpartum care. So I'm doing a mid-year review of my goals, my finances, anything else I think needs to be looked at. And then we're going to move on to July. July is the beginning of quarter 3. We're choosing our finance book, and then we're going to start researching blog topics. If I'm going to keep up with the blog, that's when I'm going to do the researching on blog topics. But my main thing is that launch plan for the planner. And then for my finance, I'm going to start creating a savings and debt plan. For August, that's when we're going to write blog posts if we're going to do the blog. And I'm going to actually start implementing that savings plan. Start putting money into savings. For my health, or for my personal goal, I'm doing the core strengthening. And then I'm going to start pre-recording content again. For September, we're continuing with the core strength. We're launching that blog if we're going to do it. We're saving money. And now we're going to actually update home binders. We're still pre-recording content. Looking into quarter 4, starting with October, choosing that finance book again. Then continuing with that core strength. But now we're adding walks. I also want to do holiday plans because we're getting to that holiday season where time just gets crazy. So let's do holiday plans. I want to do a fall reset, and then the planner launch is a huge one for me. For November, I'm promoting that planner, continuing with my core strengthening, but now I'm doing walking and running. And then I want to do a Christmas home reset. I really love Christmas time, so we're gonna get ready for that. And then we're gonna refine our templates to keep that VA business going. And in December, planner promo again. We're doing our 2026 planning. You're evaluating 2025 to figure out what actually happened, what went well. We're doing our reflection before we go into our 2026 planning. And then we're doing a new year home reset. So that is my yearly plan. I know it's going to be updated as the year goes, but that is what we're going to start off with. Now, at the bottom here, I wrote down the habits. The habits that I know I need to be looking into is the budgeting and expense tracking, and then the self-care. I know it looks like an equation. That's just how my brain works. For the self-care routine, I do habit stacking. So I'm starting with the skincare. Then I'm going to add the nail care. Then I'm going to add the hair care, and then add the gratitude journaling. So that is the habit stacking that I want to do when it comes to creating that self-care routine. That is it, guys. I have the habit tracker in the back of here, the monthly planner that I will fill out. That is all I have for you. Thank you so much for planning with me. I love you, and I will see you next Saturday at 1:30. Bye now.